webinar, The Future of Aesthetic Medicine, AI-powered consults that streamline patient education, presented by Dr. Arisa E. Ortiz. Arisa E. Ortiz, MD, is a board-certified dermatologist in San Diego. She received training in Mohs micrographic surgery at UC San Diego and also completed the prestigious Cosmetic and Laser Fellowship at Massachusetts General Hospital, Harvard Medical School, and Wellman Center for Photomedicine. Dr. Ortiz completed her dermatology residency training at UC Irvine and Beckman Laser Institute. She has authored over 60 publications and several book chapters. Dr. Ortiz also co-edited a textbook on surgical reconstruction. She is on the editorial board for the Journal of Lasers in Surgery and Medicine and has won several awards, including the ASLMS Dr. Horace Furumoto Young Investigator Award and ASLMS Best of Session Award for Cutaneous Applications, ASDS President's Outstanding Service Award, Castle Conley Top Doctors Award, Exceptional Women in Medicine, and Newsweek America's Best Dermatologist. She has also been featured as a laser expert on Dr. Pimple Popper. Dr. Ortiz has also served as the president of the San Diego Dermatologic Surgery Society and is the immediate past president of ASLMS. We thank you so much for joining us tonight and welcome you to ask your questions in the Q&A chat feature of GoToWebinar. I would like to now introduce our speaker, Dr. Ortiz.
Thank you so much, Erica, for that kind introduction. I'm so excited to be here with you all tonight to talk to you about the future of aesthetic medicine. And I just wanted to thank Cutera for hosting this webinar. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Your Pre-Visit. So Your Pre-Visit essentially is an AI-powered platform that provides your patients with procedural education. But you know, I know we're all so busy and we don't have time to make videos about all the procedures we offer. So AI basically takes all the work out of it and generates the videos for you and generates the scripts for you and really streamlines your patient education. And this came about because of a need that I had, so I'm sure you share my same frustration, where consultations really feel like the most inefficient part of my day. So patients come in and they get so overwhelmed with the amount of information. I really have to limit it to just a few procedures, or it's just so overwhelming for them. And they don't really retain what you say, and so they go home confused, overwhelmed. And so I really wanted to improve that experience and make it more efficient for the provider, and empower the patient with more information and just make it a better experience overall. And so this is why we created Your Pre-Visit. And I'm really excited because I'm going to show you a sneak peek of version 2.0, which launches next week. So you guys are all the first to see all these new features, and I'm really excited about them because I think they'll really add a lot to your practice and help you streamline everything. So if you're interested, you would just go to the website to sign up. So you go to yourprevisit.com. And then there's different plans depending on how many patients you want to send the link to. So it's not meant to be an expensive platform. It's basically $80 a month, and then that allows you to invite 50 patients a month, so 50 new patients each month. And that's the only cost unless you change the videos. So if you change the videos and regenerate them, then it's a one-time fee of $40 per video. And if you want to personalize it, we actually have this digital twin feature where we can make an avatar that looks just like you. So it's like you talking to your patients, and that's a one-time charge of basically $500. So if you decide to do the avatar that looks like you, then we put that into your account. And then whenever you generate a video, it'll be like you're talking to your patient. So again, it's really not meant to be an expensive solution to this. It's, basically the price of, I don't know, lunch these days, once a month. And If you don't change any of the videos, then it's just $80 a month. So if you have a larger practice and you're inviting like 100 patients a month, then there's, you know, another tier, 200 a month. Or if you have like a private equity, then there's enterprise pricings. But I think most practices probably fit under the $80 a month tier. So I'll show you what this looks like. So basically you can log in from the website, and then this is your dashboard. So this is the practice dashboard. It's really easy. And this is like a new sleek look in version 2.0. So here's where you kind of manage your information. You can put in your profile, you can put your bio. So when your patients log on, they can learn a little bit about you. You manage your passwords. If you have other providers in your practice, then they get 75% off of additional accounts. And then you can basically like manage your subscription in the dashboard. So super easy to use. And so the first thing to do is add treatments. So this is just a staging example, so it doesn't include everything that's actually in there, but there's more than like 50 of the most common procedures in our template. So you just select what you want to add. So in this case, I added AviClear, and then you can edit the template however you want. I'm going to show you what a generic avatar looks like. So once you select the avatar or the template, this is what it would look like.
The purpose of AviClear laser treatments is to treat active acne breakouts to provide clearer, smoother, and healthier looking skin. AviClear laser targets and suppresses the oil glands responsible for producing oil that clogs pores and causes acne.
So basically, it's going to go through a very comprehensive consultation of everything you want your patient to know, like how it works, the purpose, you know, the anesthesia required, the amount of downtime, how many times you need to do it, what the maintenance is, the risks and benefits. But it's just a short, like 3 to 5 minute video because everyone has a short attention span. But this way they can go back and refer to it. And so there's, you know, generic avatars if you don't want to use your digital twin, or I'll show you what the customized digital twin looks like in a moment. But you can go in and edit the script. So this is one of the new features. You can share the videos now. So you can copy the link to your website. You can use it on socials. You can text the video or email the video directly to your patients. And then you can go in and edit any of the script if you want. So everyone has their own spiel and likes to say things their own way. So this is fully customizable. You don't have to use the script as it is. You can change whatever you want. And then you would just regenerate the video. We also added before and after, so you can show some examples to your patients, and you can upload photos directly into the app. And then you would just select like what skin types you feel comfortable treating, what ethnicities, what ages, and then what conditions. And it's just what you feel comfortable treating. So you can totally customize it. And then one of the new features is post-care, which is really cool. So AI will generate a generic instruction for your procedures, but then you can also add step-by-step. So if you want them to add, you know, your skincare or, you know, take antibiotics, you can make it really specific. And so hopefully that avoids some of the calls that your staff gets from, you know, questions about post-care. But it's fully customizable, which is what I really love about having AI and, you know, and using this platform. So, and I know, you know, not all of your patients are going to be tech savvy, especially some of the older ones. So a lot of requests for being able to just share the videos directly. So the version 2.0 allows you to do that. So the patients will no longer have to download the app if they can't, or if they're just calling about a specific procedure. Then I showed you where you can just send the videos directly. And then you can also use it for your own marketing so that, you know, you don't have to create videos all the time. So hopefully it saves you some time. So if the procedure that you offer isn't in the database, it has like about 50 of the most common procedures, but let's say it's not in there. You can add a treatment. So you just go to add a new treatment, you select the treatment type. So let's say microneedling RF, and then we can add, the secret. And then you can either have AI generate the script for you, which is a pretty accurate script, which you can then edit again. Or you can write your own script, but again, we don't have time to do that, but the option is there. It takes about 1 to 2 minutes, depending on your internet speed, and then it'll generate a script for you. And then again, you can kind of go in and edit it, but the script that's generated is really pretty accurate. So it's already prompted to know the types of things to say. So you can put in any new procedure. And if you have things that are branded, like Dr. So-and-so's procedure, then you can just basically like go back and change the name so that it's like branded to you. So let's say you call the secret RF, the Dr. Ortiz procedure. You can then go back in and then just change all the secrets to Dr. Ortiz, or really customize it like however you want. So if you want to really personalize it, and I think this is probably one of the coolest parts of this platform, is we can create a digital twin for you. And I want to show you how to do that. So basically you go to your dashboard and you create your digital twin. It only takes 2 minutes of your time. So we just need a 2-minute video of you talking. The background is going to look exactly where you are. So make sure the background looks how you want it to. And then there's examples of like what to say, but you can just really just talk however you want or say whatever you want. It's just 2 minutes of you talking. And then we're able to create your digital twin and then load it into your account. And then you would generate your videos using your digital twin. So I'll show you my digital twin so you can get an example of what that looks like.
The XLV laser is used to treat various skin concerns such as redness, veins, rosacea, and broken capillaries. The purpose is to improve skin tone, reduce redness, and enhance overall skin appearance.
So if you know me, I think you would say that's probably like 90% me, like pretty close, maybe not like exactly me, but I think for patients and on the app it's like smaller. I think it's pretty close. When you're looking at yourself, you're like, okay, that's pretty close. So it does a really good job of like capturing your likeness, and then it's a more like personalized approach for your patients. But again, you have the option of using the generic avatar or your own digital twin, which I personally think is like the coolest feature of this. So once you have all of your procedures loaded and ready to go, then you would go ahead and invite the patient. So again, it's really like quick to onboard. You just click which procedures you want, add them on, edit if you need to, add any ones that aren't there, but it really like doesn't take long to like get going. So once you do that, then you add, you invite your patients. So if we go to the patient section, you can search for existing patients, you see the list of patients there, and then you can invite new patients. We just added international patients, so if you have patients flying in, we can also text internationally now, but you just put in their cell phone, invite them, and then it sends them a text message to download the app. So this is a patient that's already been entered, and you can see like everything that they're interested in. So if you search for patients, so you can search by name or number, then it just pulls up the analytics of them. And so you can see all the conditions they were interested in learning about. This was a test patient, so there's nothing in there, but you can see all the videos that they watched, and you can see how much of the video they watched. So you know how patients come in and they're like, you never said that I would have a week of redness and swelling, and you're like, yes, I did. Well, now at least you have documentation, that they have looked at the risks and side effects and potential downtime and all that, because they it documents like how much of the video they've watched. So it also adds another layer of, protection in terms of like liability, because you have documentation. And again, it doesn't replace the in-person consultation. It's really meant to just like enhance it. So I still, expect you all to talk about risks and benefits, in the actual visit, but certainly you have documentation that they've heard it at least once. So once you invite the patient, then they download the app from the App Store, and then I'll show you what the app looks like on their end. So basically they just put in their skin type, their age, their gender, their ethnicity, what they're interested in learning about. So in this case, like face, and then I'm interested in learning about redness, and it'll populate all of the procedures that you offer that address that, that's appropriate for their skin type and their age. And then they can learn about the procedure, and I already played you, an example of this, but basically they can kind of toggle between the sections, and they can look at the photos, and then once they have the procedure, they can also look at the post-care is in there. And so it's really like comprehensive and concise, and that way they're going directly to you for information rather than going to like TikTok or YouTube and learning from God knows who, and then they come into your office with misinformation, and then you have to spend 5-10 minutes correcting everything that they've learned. So this way they know to come just directly to your site and get the information from you the way you want to educate. And so it's really like a win-win for everybody, because they come in prepared, they know what the downtime is going to be, they've scheduled it when they don't have a party the next day. I mean, how many times do patients come in and say to you, oh, if I had known that this was going to be a week of swelling, I would have come in next week for the procedure instead of today because I have a party tomorrow. It's like that happens all the time, and it's so inefficient. This way they know, like, okay, I shouldn't schedule this because I have a party tomorrow. So I'm going to schedule this next week when I have the time, and then they're ready for like same day procedures. So it just makes for like more efficient visits because they know what to expect. They feel more empowered because they've had time to digest the information. It's not the first time that they're hearing the information. And then, then you don't feel so like repetitive, and then your visits aren't so inefficient, and everything is just more streamlined, and everyone just has a better experience. So that's really why I, wanted to create this app, because it was something that I felt like I needed in my practice. But I didn't have time to like create every single video, and so it's so nice to have AI just create it for you, or you can use the ones that are just already in the database. And so it's really easy to use, and the app, the new version of the app is like kind of Instagram scrollable, so it's familiar to patients. But again, as I mentioned, one of the new features is if your patient is not tech savvy, you can just send them the video directly. So there's really a lot of new features that we've added. The one I'm most excited about is the post-care, because especially when you do a lot more aggressive procedures, there's a lot of post-care involved, and so this way they have everything in one place. Also, from like a patient retention standpoint, I don't have time to like explain everything that I offer. Each visit you have time to explain 2, maybe 3, otherwise they get overwhelmed. But this way, it's like when they have a procedure with you and then they are interested in something else, they can just go back to the app and see all of the procedures that you perform, and they might see something that you didn't have time to talk about. So, it helps with revenue and efficiency and just giving patients a better experience overall. So if you guys are interested in trying it out, just scan the QR code and that will bring you to the sign-up sheet. Or just go to the website, yourprevisit.com. And for joining today, we do want to offer you a 60-day free trial. So no obligations. You can try it out for 60 days, cancel at any time. So just put in Derm60 and try it out. And like I said, we're launching all these new features next week because of the feedback we've gotten from our users. And so we really are receptive to making this useful for you. So if there's something else that you are wanting, we are definitely going to take that into consideration and try to add as many features for you guys as we can. So if you were to sign up today, it might look a little bit different, but next week, all of these features will go live. So maybe even before the end of next week. So we're really excited about that. And thank you all for joining. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ortiz. AI is truly the future, and it's so exciting to see the development of AI in aesthetic medicine. We have a few questions that have come through. What advice would you give to clinics that are a little hesitant to adopt AI technology due to maybe workflow concerns or compliance concerns?
Yeah, so, and I think that is definitely a discussion I've had because AI is so new. We're not like used to it yet. But I really think, we should capture it to kind of help us become more efficient and give us our personal time back. And so I don't expect this, as I mentioned, I don't expect this to replace the consult completely. I think that would probably be inappropriate, but hopefully it just makes it a lot faster. In terms of compliance, we don't really collect any information from patients. It's not meant to store anything. It's really just providing education. So, they create their account and that's really the only information they're entering besides like skin type. And, they don't have to enter whatever they're not comfortable entering. So it's not like a information storage app. It's really just providing education. So in terms of like compliance, it's not so much of an issue because we're not like collecting anything. And, I think this is like an easy way to kind of bring on AI because it's really just there to like help you, not replace you. So, again, it's really like a win-win for everybody because I think everybody has a better experience using this platform. But, when the patient comes in, if they say, I saw this and I'm interested in this, you're still the one making the decision, deciding whether that's appropriate for them or not. So I think this is kind of like an easy segue into AI because, there's really no threat to like replace you. I hope that answers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, AI can be such an intimidating thing, to some practices, but I feel like you've made it so easy with this application, especially with all the AI generated scripts and prompts. And I think, on that note for treatments, what are some of the rising treatment trends you're seeing in practices, and how can a tool like your pre-visit be able to help maybe integrate some of these trending treatments a little bit faster for patients?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think a trend in general that I've seen with treatments is like, more non-invasive treatments that are not replacing, but maybe delaying surgery. And there's just like so many treatments that are available that patients are just so confused which treatment does what. And so I think that, these videos make everything so clear as to like the purpose and, and how it works and what it does, so that I think patients get a better idea of what they're looking for, because patients come in all the time, with just a name, and they'll come in and they'll ask for a device and they'll say, I want this procedure. And, I kind of back them up. I'm like, well, what is your goal? I want to know what what you're trying to achieve, and then I'll tell you which device is the best, right? So when they come in like not knowing anything, they just know what they hear on like social media. So this kind of gives them, I think, a more selected treatment option for them, because they're going to put in what they're interested in. So if they say I'm interested in, you know, tightening, then they're going to get as an option secret RF instead of XLV, because you know, maybe they've heard of XLV, but that's not the appropriate procedure for tightening. They would want, you know, secret RF. So, you know, I think it just helps to narrow down procedures for patients, because it's like so overwhelming with the amount of procedures that are out there these days.
Absolutely. And everybody's constantly searching, Googling, and then now using ChatGPT, of course, another AI to research things. In terms of integrating this tool into a practice, how easy do you feel like it is for staff to get trained? And then this is a little bit of more of a technical question. Do they have separate user logins? Are they using one login to kind of generate it? And do you recommend maybe a champion for the practice to kind of own this, or is this something that's great for, you know, all of your staff to be able to use?
Yeah. So I think the easiest way to do it is for your front desk staff to have logins. So you can share the login. So everyone would just log in and see the same dashboard. But basically, like when a patient calls and schedules a consultation, then that would be the opportunity to say, hey, we're going to send you an app to kind of take a look at everything that we offer. And then the person who's answering, you know, in the call center or the front desk, then they would just put in the phone number of that patient and text them the link even while they're still on the phone, so that they can access it prior to coming in. Also, you can invite existing patients. So as patients call in for follow-up appointments, you know, you can say, hey, we have this new app and we hope that it improves your experience. And so you can invite them. But I think it makes the most sense to have the front desk staff, to have them be the ones like giving it to the patients as they call in. And then you can all share, let's say there's multiple providers in the practice. You can all share the same account as long as you use the same videos. So if you have a generic avatar and you're only sending it to 50 patients a month, then you can all share the same account, but the analytics are going to be all shared as well. You're not going to be able to kind of divide them by provider. But if one provider wants their own digital twin and the other provider wants their own digital twin, then you would use that 75% off discount from the account where I showed you in the dashboard, where there's like those 75% off codes, and you would have to open up another account at 75% off because you're in the same practice, and then you would each have your own account. So then the front desk would have to have the 2 different logins for each account.
Awesome, thank you. And it looks like our last question, this is a little bit of a broader question, but AI is developing so fast. Do you have any predictions on maybe what the next couple of years are going to look like with AI and aesthetic medicine?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So we've certainly seen AI in like diagnostic imaging. There's a lot of apps that are incorporating AI with imaging a patient and then showing them the potential of what they could look like, which I'm really like hesitant about, because, you know, we are not robots, we are not AI generated images. And so, you know, when I do filler on a patient, I can't exactly make it look like a picture, right? You can only like work with their anatomy, and it's not going to turn out exactly like an image that's generated by AI. So I get a little like hesitant with like devices like that. But then there's also a lot of like good that can come from it. So there's a new AI robotic device that does a full skin check. using like basically dermoscopic detail where they can examine the whole body and check, you know, for atypical moles or potential melanomas. So that's coming and is on the market, I believe, if not already, like very soon. And so, you know, again, there's this concern, is AI going to replace us? I don't know if AI will replace us, you know, in the next 3 to 5 years, but it certainly will help us, you know, help us maybe get rid of human error or just like, you know, improve what we can do. And then the last thing that I saw a couple years ago was a robot that would inject you with filler with the capacity to use imaging to avoid blood vessels. If you were in a blood vessel, it would be able to tell and then, you know, readjust the needle. And, you know, it prepares this image of you and plan, and then, you know, robotically injects the patient. And I talked to my patients about that and whether they would feel comfortable with that, if they would want that, if they thought it was like better than having a human inject them. And I think, you know, there is some hesitation. I think this is so new that we're not quite ready for something like that. Most of my patients were like, no, I want you to inject me. So, you know, I think there's kind of like this happy medium where we use AI to kind of augment what we do, but it's not quite ready to replace us yet. But I think this is such an easy way to, you know, to use AI to just make your practice a little bit smoother, make the patients have, you know, a better experience, empower them with knowledge and education, and, you know, help to make your practice a little more efficient and save like staff calls from things that, you know, are so redundant. So I've found this to be like, you know, a nice way to incorporate AI into your practice.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's amazing how fast technology is moving and optimizing us at the same time. Thank you so much, Dr. Ortiz, for your time tonight, and thank you so much to all of our attendees. I think your pre-visit is just absolutely innovative and such an amazing tool for practices to be able to adopt and optimize. If any of our attendees would like more information, Dr. Ortiz has her Instagram, the Your Pre-Visit Instagram up. And then do you mind, can we go back to your QR code slide as well? And this is also the promo code for the free 60-day trial. And what website can they visit to get more information on your pre-visit?
So it's just yourprevisit.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much to all of our attendees. And thank you so much again, Dr. Ortiz. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, Q-Tara. Thank you, Erica.